A CRUT is positive ROI, even if you're not charitably inclined. With that being said, it's absolutely the case that each of these strategies speaks slightly differently to each subset of client, each individual client. And so someone who's charitably inclined or who has more longer term planning in mind as opposed to immediate gains is generally going to be much more open and more interested in a charitable remainder trust than someone who's all about buying their first home. Or who doesn't care about the charitable piece at all, and so that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, and we can jump into the specifics, but it's when they're also in that mindset of leaving something behind where it isn't just their lifetime to still have an impact is also a common trait that comes up where a CRUT can be helpful while still maintaining flexibility of those annual distributions.
Yeah, that's right. We've got 5 minutes left in the kind of original allotted time. We can of course go over a few minutes, but just to keep moving along. This case study, it's really just to show directionally what these things can do. This is a client that we worked on together. I realize we went with the GitLab example, not NVIDIA. There are a bunch of different clients here, but this was a 38-year-old client in the Bay Area. She was married. She had $2 million of GitLab shares that she was planning on getting out of anyway, which I think is an important feature here. She had decided with her advisor from Diversify, that they were looking to move out of the position. And then the question was, how can we do so efficiently? And a CRUT came up as a possibility, and it turned out to be a good fit. She had $2 million of shares, $100,000 cost basis, really, early employee, doing very, very well post IPO. We modeled 8% annual growth, which is a common number. And we assumed for her purposes that she didn't need the money right away.
That's right.
Which is a key feature of CRUTs that I think makes them especially valuable. You can defer those payouts. She chose to model it that way. And what you see here is that she, making those assumptions, is going to expect to do about 3 times as well with the CRUT as she would have without. Now, of course, I guess maybe Alfred, if you can talk for just a minute about the combination of these strategies. I know this client in particular, we haven't talked about this, so don't mean to put you on the spot, but I know this client in particular was also a long-term believer in talk us through how you think about talking to a client who has already pursued a significant amount of tax planning via other strategies, and then we arrive at the kind of D-Day at the decision point, and now it's time to think about more complex strategies. Is it more of a, hey, let's deal with what's in front of us now, and then we'll come to the complex stuff later?
And just sorry, it might have been breaking up a little bit, but can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine, yeah. Should I restate the question?
No, I got it. Yeah. I think it is a combination. It always has to be, right? And so like, when you look at the 2 million of GitLab shares, it was a portion of the net worth that they were saying, you know what, we didn't need it. Why don't we just get out of it, right? Like I want to do something else with it. But that's where it wasn't me. It was one of my advisors on the team brought up this strategy of like, we can do much more. And there's a reason why they didn't need the distributions until year 10, because they had so much other things going on in the strategy, part of which was they sold a little bit to hit some goals.
This particular client, the spouse runs a business and they had plenty of liquidity elsewhere.
Exactly. And so it was being able to kind of like talk through that and realizing that because they can look at these GitLab shares as something that they didn't need right away, but they just didn't want to carry the risk that we talked about. They had make that determination of not carrying the risk. We were able to bring up and say, we can not carry the risk, but also do much more. And it made so much sense because of it.